Homemade Cajun seasoned olive and cheeseburgers. Yes, it's a mouthful, but you will enjoy it. These are the ingredients, and the recipe will be listed in the description box below. I have 4 1/4 pound of some ground chuck burger patties, and they're about 80-20 with the fat. I have some sliced onions that I'm going to cook with the burgers. They're going to get caramelized, and I'm using a little bit of my Slap Yo Mama Cajun seasoning. Now, you can use whatever Cajun seasoning you like, but this is the kind that I had, and that's the flavor that I really like as far as brand name. I'm using a little garlic powder. Now, on a couple of the burgers have a little extra garlic powder because I really like that garlic flavor that's going to bring out in these burgers. And I'm using a little bit of basil as well. And I'm just sprinkling it on over all the patties. And I'm using my finger that's going to massage and just kind of work it all the way around all the edges of the patties so they can have really good flavor. And then after I do this step, then I'll go ahead and I flip them over. And I'm just going to repeat this step again on the other side of the patties. We want both sides of these patties to be full of flavor. You want to get your skillet heated, and I have it heated on medium high. And then I'm slowly going to place the burgers on there. Now, as you can see, my skillet is pretty big, so this skillet also has like the little grooves to kind of give it that barbecue look. So if you have a barbecue grill, this is probably a great recipe for you to try for your burger patties. I'm just going ahead and place all 4 of my patties on my skillet here, and they are going to cook, and I'm going to let them cook because I like my burgers well done all the way through. So as you can see, while my burgers are cooking, I am placing my olives on my chopping board. Now, you can buy the already sliced green olives, but they usually cost a little bit more, so I don't mind the elbow grease by just slicing them up. As you can see, the grease is starting to pull from the bottom to go to the bottom of the skillet from my burgers, and so this is the perfect time I'm going to add my onions. Now, if your skillet is not big enough to add the onions with the burgers, then you can cook the onions at the end or not cook your onions at all. I went ahead and just started flipping them over so that way they can start cooking on the other side. And I just kind of got my onions all together so that they can absorb some of that oil and the flavor that's coming from the burgers. They're going to get onto these onions and just caramelize nicely. As you can see, all that juices that came from those burger patties are all in the skillet, and it just made those onions look so beautiful. Now, here is where I'm adding my cheese because my burgers have completely cooked. They are brown all the way through, and I turned my burner off and I added my cheese as the last step. And after I add my cheese on top, now you can use sliced cheese if you want, but I went and used some shredded cheese, and this is a mild shredded cheese. After I add it on top of my burgers, then because I don't have a skillet to cover to cover my skillet with, I use one of my stainless steel bowls, and this is going to help the steam melt the cheese really nicely. And as I was getting my burgers or letting my burgers melt with the cheese on top of them, I went ahead and buttered some brioche hamburger buns because these buns are going to go in my oven, and I'm going to let them go on broil and get them all nice and toasty. And that butter is going to also help these burgers taste really, really good. As you can see how the cheese has melted because the cover that I placed on the skillet, the heat just helped the cheese melt really, really nicely. And then with me using this particular skillet, a lot of the grease have drained at the bottom, and not too much is stuck on the burger patty, but the burger patties still have a lot of good flavor, and they're still nice and juicy. Then I'm also taking my onions and I'm placing it on top of that cheese, and they're just so beautifully caramelized. It is so good. And I tell you, this burger is going to be perfect for your family. For to have like on a Saturday night or Friday night dinner, you will enjoy it. And you can top it with whatever you want. Now, this is where I'm going to put my brioche buns inside the oven. And they're just going to toast really quick. And you can see they got a nice little brown rim around there. So that means they are ready to be plated and time to stack up these burger patties. Now, I have both of my bun pieces, my top and my bottom, and I'm going to add some of my mayonnaise on here. And if you want, you can add other toppings or condiments that you like on your burgers. This was just a quick one for my son because sometimes he don't like all those different condiments on his burger. So I kept it simple for him. And I'm adding my burger patty, as you can see, with the caramelized onions. And then this is also going to get topped with, of course, olives. The nice green olives that have the little peppers on the inside. It gives it so much flavor to this sandwich, I tell you. It is going to be so good. Then I'm also going to add a little bit of pickles on top. I believe your family will enjoy this burger because of that Cajun seasoning. And then you got the olives. Then you have your onions. Oh, it is so good. So, please, if you like this recipe, remember to click like, remember to share, and of course, subscribe. This burger was ready to be served, and all you have to do is just have a little bit of chips or french fries on the side. Now, of course, if you want, you could add lettuce and tomatoes. I didn't have any lettuce for my burgers, so I just added the tomato. It's still good. So, remember to try this recipe, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, and God bless.